Who are the 10 biggest Pokémon ever? Let's dive right in and explore the 10 biggest Pokémon ranked by their size, from the smallest to the biggest. From massive serpents to colossal titans, these are the Pokémon that would make even the largest legendary dragons look small. Let's jump straight in with our number 10 pick. Number 10, Steelix. Alright, let's start with Steelix, the Iron Snake Pokémon. If you thought Onix was impressive, wait until you see Steelix. It really steps it up. This dude is a whopping 30 feet long and tips the scales at 881 pounds. Picture this. You stumble upon that underground world, winding through tunnels with that sleek metal exterior. It feels like you've stepped right into a fantasy film. Steelix is super tough like a tank, and its rock segments all covered in steel. Steelix's shiny metallic body isn't just for show. Its armor gives it some serious durability, especially when it comes to anything trying to mess with it underground. Even if it's not the biggest Pokémon out there, its one-of-a-kind design and impressive size definitely make it stand out. Steelix is definitely a classic, and you really don't want to go into battle without a solid game plan. Its weight can be pretty intimidating. Number 9. Wailord. Next up, let's talk about the ocean's gentle giant, Wailord. Wailord is an impressive 47 feet long. It's so big that it could likely fit your entire house inside, and maybe even your neighbors too. Wailord weighs around 877 pounds, which is surprising given its size. It's designed to float, making it feel lighter than you'd expect. Wailord, often called the float whale Pokémon, is more than just a big fish. It's a legendary creature of the ocean. This huge creature enjoys hanging out in pods with its friends, and even though it's a water type, Wailord is super gentle. Just picture that big friendly face, and the sound of its low wail when you're swimming alongside other Pokémon. Wailord may not take the crown for the heaviest, but it sure is one of the longest around. This friendly giant is definitely someone you'd want by your side when you're out on the open seas. Number 8. Guzzlord. Things are really heating up now. Guzzlord, the Ultra Beast that just can't stop eating, grabs the number 8 spot. Guzzlord stands at an impressive 18 feet tall and tips the scales at a staggering 1,957 pounds. And it's really all about that consumption vibe. Imagine it as the Pokémon world's version of a vacuum cleaner, but way more terrifying. Guzzlord has this huge, wide-open mouth that just gobbles up everything around it, whether it's trees or big rocks, and it doesn't even chew. This dark/dragon type has a never-ending appetite that could put even the hungriest Snorlax to shame. Guzzlord really stands out with its crazy look and huge size, almost like it jumped right out of a monster movie. So you know how most Pokémon can either be super friendly or really fierce? Well, Guzzlord is just always hungry, like all the time. Even though it's not the largest on this list, it's definitely the one you'll want to avoid if you care about keeping your snacks safe. Number 7. Stakataka. Meet Stakataka, another Ultra Beast. It's basically a moving fortress. At a solid 18 feet tall and tipping the scales at 1,808 pounds, Stakataka really feels more like a walking wall than your typical Pokémon. Its body is made up of stone blocks stacked together, and each block can move on its own, giving it the appearance of a moving fortress when it's in action. In battle, Stakataka's defense is incredible. This thing can really take a hit. Even though it looks like a heavy fortress, it's surprisingly nimble. With its rock-steel type, it focuses on being tough and outlasting its opponents. Stakataka stands out with its one-of-a-kind appearance and hefty weight, making it hard to forget. Honestly, it's likely one of the most unique things you'll come across in the world of Pokémon. Number 6. Primal Groudon. So here we are at Primal Groudon. When Groudon goes through Primal Reversion, it really steps up its game. This ground fire-type Pokémon can grow up to 16 feet tall and weigh a whopping 2,204 pounds, making it an unstoppable force of nature. Primal Groudon is just massive, and its knack for controlling volcanic energy makes it a force to be reckoned with. It's incredible how powerful it is, like it can actually make volcanoes erupt, which is just wild. When it shows up, you can almost sense the heat coming off of it. The Primal Reversion isn't just for looks, it actually boosts Groudon's strength, giving it more attack power and an even more intimidating appearance. If Primal Groudon was around, you'd totally feel the ground rumble. Number 5. Eternatus. Now we're getting into some seriously epic territory with Eternatus. This amazing Pokémon from the Galar region is one of the longest out there, stretching an impressive 65 feet long and tipping the scales at 2,094 pounds. Eternatus is a dragon poison type, and its design is totally otherworldly. It feels like it could be plucked right out of a sci-fi flick. Eternatus is as massive as it is powerful. This Pokémon has a cool way of soaking up energy from its environment to keep going, giving it an otherworldly vibe that can be a little intimidating. The design really stands out, with these sharp, almost skeletal features that just add to its mysterious vibe. If you're ever on the hunt for a legendary giant to battle, this is one Pokémon you definitely can't miss. Number 4. Mega Rayquaza. Next up is the legendary Mega Rayquaza, a Pokémon that truly flies high above the rest. So when Rayquaza Mega evolves, it stretches out to about 35 feet long and turns into one of the highest flying types, tipping the scales at 864 pounds. Rayquaza has this really cool, snake-like shape, and those glowing patterns, they totally make it seem like it's part of the sky. This Pokémon acts like an ultimate guardian of the atmosphere, stepping in to calm the battles between Groudon and Kyogre with its impressive presence. Mega Rayquaza is definitely one of the most loved and respected Pokémon out there. It's just so iconic. In battle, Mega Rayquaza is pretty much unbeatable, especially with that huge power boost it gets. This legendary Pokémon is truly something special if you're into the most iconic and visually stunning giants in the Pokémon universe. Number 3. Alolan Exeggutor. Alolan Exeggutor is probably the most fun and quirky pick on the list. It stands tall at an impressive 35 feet, kind of like a walking palm tree with a fun dragon twist. In the Alolan region, Exeggutor has really adapted to its sunny tropical environment, sporting that super long neck and standing tall above just about everything else. It's a grass dragon type, which catches a lot of folks off guard, and it's likely the only dragon you'll spot swaying softly in the breeze. Alolan Exeggutor is totally the life of the party. Its unique and slightly goofy look makes it a well-known figure in the Pokémon world. It might not be the heaviest of the big Pokémon, tipping the scales at about 916 pounds, but its height definitely makes it stand out in a crowd. It's definitely one of those Pokémon that's tough not to adore, whether it's relaxing on the beach or getting into battle. Number 2. Celesteela. Celesteela is definitely one of the coolest Ultra Beasts around, and really packs a punch. This Pokémon is huge. It's 30 feet tall and weighs an incredible 2,204 pounds. It's kind of like a huge bamboo rocket that seems to have a life of its own. Celesteela is a steel flying type Pokémon that has a really unique design, making it feel almost like it's from another planet. In battle, it's really tough, and its huge weight makes it one of the most intimidating Ultra Beasts out there. Isn't it wild that Celesteela can shoot up into the sky like a rocket? You wouldn't think that from something that looks like it's made of bamboo. This Ultra Beast really catches the eye for anyone into unique, futuristic designs in the Pokémon world. Number 1. Cosmoem. We finally made it to the heaviest one of the bunch, Cosmoem. This little psychic-type Pokémon is just a bit over a foot tall, about the size of a beach ball, but it surprisingly weighs in at a whopping 2,204 pounds. Yeah, you got it. It's really surprising how dense it is for such a tiny Pokémon. Cosmoem is often referred to as the cocoon of the cosmos, since it contains a huge amount of cosmic energy, and that's what makes it so heavy. Cosmoem may seem pretty simple at first glance, but it actually holds a ton of potential. It can evolve into either Solgaleo or Lunala, both of which are super powerful Pokémon. Cosmoem might not be the tallest one here, but its weight definitely puts it at the top of the list. It's like a little dynamo just ready to explode into something incredible, making it such an interesting Pokémon to wrap up our list of the biggest. So there you go, the biggest and heaviest Pokémon around. These Pokémon are truly something else, each bringing their own special vibe and strength to the table. If you want to see more lists like this, be sure to check on this other cool video that's appearing on your screen. Go ahead, click it.